They had to adjust the camera because I'm short. with bad posture.
Today I got Coach Bryce Crawford.
Hey, what's up, champ? I've been really fortunate to be like on these places that like are established and just like they really care. And then now I'm here, and it's like, whoa. I'm so fortunate. Coach has been so good to me to just keep me along, and you know, he keeps hiring me, so I'm really thankful.
He keeps hiring. Hoops fans, what's up? It's your host, Devin Tillis, back with the Good Old Hoops podcast with Corner Media. Today I got a special one. You know, our first guy from the coaching staff. He's worked his way up in the coaching ranks, and now he's helping Coach Odom lead the charge with our Virginia men's basketball team. Today I got Coach Bryce Crawford.
Hey, what's up, champ?
How you doing today?
Man, I'm good. This is a dream come true, basically.
I know every coach has been wanting to get on, and you're the first. I think they were all a little jealous.
What an honor.
So let's kind of just jump straight into it. So you're an Ohio guy, you know, grew up in Columbus, playing basketball in Pickerington,
Man,
Ohio.
What amazing research.
You know, back in the day, you know, what has basketball been for you, and you know, what was your basketball upbringing?
Extremely average player. I think part of the reason I like your game is because that's who I ascribe to be. I aspired to be. I just wanted to be a 6'6", like 0.4 passer kind of, but I stopped growing. So it ended pretty quick for me. But no, I mean, like I always loved it. I love the competing part of it. I like what it like how sport in general, right, can just bring people together. Yeah. Like when we're watching our tape and stuff. And like so at some point I'm like, okay, look at Devin, look what he did on that dunk, and look at what this guy did on that play, right? It's just such a special thing. But yeah, I mean, I tried my best, and that was about all I had. But I think I knew when I wanted to do it when I was like in high school, and I kind of accidentally fell into like a camp role, and I thought I was supposed to work, and I wasn't, and I did it. I worked the camp with these kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can be for someone what I wanted in this spot. At different times in my life.
So would you say that's like the first point when you realized you really wanted to be like a coach?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Coach Bryce is not an average basketball player. The coaches and the walk-ons and the red shirts, they do open runs, you know, before every home game. So Coach Bryce is out there, you know, putting up Draymond Green numbers. That's his player comp, but
that's fair. I made a three the other day. I did. I banged a three.
Apparently, it was his best stat line of all time. What was it, like 2 weeks? Was it?
I don't know, but I've been rebounding lately. So like I've been getting out the stretch in, but you know I try to pass. I can give it to Darius because he's pretty good.
Yeah. But anyway, so early on, you know, you were a manager at Ohio State, so you got to see how a high-level program, you know, kind of operated. What were some things that you kind of learned and brought with you from your first stop to, you know, kind of where you are now?
Sure. And I think what's interesting about that, right, is like when you're in those kinds of environments, or at least in that environment, I didn't know how special it was, right? While I was there, we won a lot.
Yeah.
You know, my senior year, we went 34-3. We were number one overall seed. We were awesome. Yeah. I think the similarities that Coach Mata had are similar to attributes that Coach Mata has are similar to Coach Odom, right? Where they're both very competitive, but they don't take themselves too seriously, right? In terms of like where they have to feel like where they put all this pressure on themselves, right? Which then overflows and like hits everybody else in the program, right? I thought he was so good at that, and I think that the biggest thing was just like the care that we gave to those guys, the care that they gave to me. Was the kind of environment that I would always want to be a part of. That's why it's easy for me to work with Coach Odom, because we have a similar environment. As coaches, and you all impact the environment more than anybody, right? But in our small part of it all, right, we have to invest love into the environment that we're in, and that was a big deal. And I think the other thing was like some of the players, like the leadership that they brought. And again, I definitely took that for granted when I was there, just kind of watching it. I was like, man, he's doing this, and he should be, you know. Yeah. But then as I've done it longer, and like that age bracket of 18 to whatever it is now, right? How hard that is, and how special like those player-led, it's like guys that took ownership really can impact the program.
I think it's interesting to see, like, for me, like as a player, you know, when I was younger, I probably didn't understand fully like a player-led team because I guess a lot of people always looked at me to kind of be the leader. So I never was like really thinking about how do I do this or how do I go about this.
Yeah.
And I think when I was younger, I kind of took it for granted. Like some of the guys that I had on my team who were like stepping into that leadership role, and now I understand like what it's like to be a leader and step into that and kind of take charge of the team and help them and help guide these guys through life a little bit in my own way. So
that's great.
I think it's crazy to see like how when we were younger, like you go through a bunch of trials and tribulations to learn, you know, what it takes to be the best, you know, coach, player, or person you can be.
Did you have a moment where you were like, oh yeah, this is, I realized it, like I have to take ownership in my role as a leader?
Yeah, when I was at UC Irvine, before, so not my last year there, but the year before that, we lost we were the first seed and we lost in the first round of we were supposed to win the tournament and we lost in the first round. And I was like, dang, like, and it sucks that you have to, like, I have to take like a losing moment to figure out how to like bounce back and realize that that's when you need to take ownership of like everything. But that's how it went for me. Like, we got whooped in the first round of the Big West tournament, and then after that, it was like, all right, guys, we need to. It can't just be coach telling us to do this and that, you know, whatever. It's got to be us doing it. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. It feels like maybe it's still a little bit sore. I apologize.
It definitely is a little sore, but you know, I think it hurts more that I never got to go to the tournament there.
Yeah, sure, I can see that.
It's okay. We're going to the tournament this year.
Hey,
It's kind of going. Who's been your like biggest mentors? You know, from a coaching standpoint. I mean, obviously, talk about Coach Dad Mata. Great dude. I know. I have a friend who actually played for him.
Okay.
DJ Davis, who's at Butler a couple years ago. But yeah, who else? I mean, obviously Coach Odom probably.
Yeah, I mean, like this is I could talk about this for a long time. I've been really fortunate. God's put a lot of the right people in my life, and like, I mean, it starts with my parents. I mean, like, taught me how to like. My mother would always say, just be Bryce. Like, it's like that has been a foundation for me in terms of like, I have a standard and I have to stick to that standard regardless of the circumstances. My father taught me how to go for it. You know what I mean? We're not like as a manager, right? Like it's not, you know, there's guys that do it in the business, but like, it's not like a necessarily big thing, right? And so like, he drove me from camp to camp so I could work and like get reps and get experience, right? They invested in me, I mean, beyond what you can imagine, right? And then, so those guys, and then everybody that was at Ohio State, from the coaches that I had. Coach Major was the first guy that like he like really took me under his wing. He was the head coach of Charlotte. That's where I got to Charlotte. I met Coach Odom through that connection. The athletic director at Ohio State, Gene Smith, like all the assistants. There was another organization on campus that like really took care of me. Uncle Todd is what I call him, and Bennett and Ty. Those guys looked out, man. They took good care of me, and it created this like, it insulated me in this like place where I could like really grow.
Dang, that's awesome.
I was spoiled, man.
Yeah. Also, guys, say thank you to your parents. You know. Shout out Mom. She's been waiting for me to say that on that.
There you go. You got it.
But I also have to say shout out Dad too, because I used to be jealous. So shout out Dad too. I love you guys. Those are my mentors as well.
That's awesome.
Like you said, you know, I think a lot of people don't, you know, fully pay attention to how much our parents do for us. You know, when I was little, I wouldn't be here without them. You know, drove me around to every tournament.
Man.
Made sure I was
amazing,
at every practice, every game, whatever it needed to be, and they made it happen. You guys are my rock. Love you guys.
That's great.
Anyways, back to the podcast. So you've coached at a bunch of different levels. You know, AAU, Division II, you know, mid-major. Now you're, you know, at Virginia, high major. Just touch on a little bit from each of those stops that you've had. You know. You coached at Lenore, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So So
we coach Billy.
So just give me a little bit on what it was like, you know, coaching at Lenore Ryan, you know, Utah State, VCU, and now being at Virginia.
Look, Lenore Ryan was a great like first, you know, like on the court assistant job for me. Coach just gave me a shot, and he didn't have to. I'm so grateful for that. It was such a fun team. We got buckets. We led all of college basketball in three-pointers made. Like, it was so much fun. Your boy Billy Bales is just running up and down the court, banging shots. It was unreal. And we had like really good support from communities, a town called Hickory, North Carolina, and they loved it. It was so cool. It was just me and my wife at that point. So that was fun for us to be kind of involved in that community. I love that. UMBC was really cool. I'm allowed to talk about UMBC here.
Oh, I forgot about UMBC. Yeah, no, I'll throw UMBC in there.
Yeah,
Coach Henry actually recruited me a little bit to UMBC.
Okay, that's right.
So yeah, it's okay to talk about that.
Yeah, I just know those 4 letters aren't super popular here. But anyways, but that was awesome. We were able to kind of like build something, right? A place that just hadn't had a ton of success, and it was really cool to be a part of that, and like watch kind of the campus change a little bit, and like be involved in campus. I was like, ran a lot of campus, or did a lot of stuff on campus. My wife worked there too, which was really nice. I felt like it was a holistic experience there. Yeah. And then Utah State was really cool with the herd. Like probably defines that, and like again the interest and the care about that place that's amazing. And then I did a lot of hiking too.
Really?
I loved it.
You were a hiker at the time?
I fell in love. I got the poles. I got the backpack with the water bottle thing.
The poles, bro. Did you wear high socks too, bro?
No, I just had the poles. I had all the essentials. I had the baby backpack for my son. And then VCU was another one. I've been really fortunate to be like on these places that like are established and just like they really care. Like the Rams cared, man. It was a fun experience, and like in Richmond got behind it, and I've been spoiled. And then now I'm here, and it's like, whoa. Yeah. I'm so fortunate, and Coach has been so good to me to just keep me along, and he keeps hiring me, so I'm really thankful.
No, that's funny. But do you think like making all those stops was important in your kind of development? Like, would there have been anything that you would have changed? Going from each stop or just staying with it?
Yeah, no changes. Yeah, it's just, I think the best part about it all is I've been with the coach the whole time. And so like what has allowed me to do is like have a really effective and consistent mirror, right? To like put my philosophy, the things that I'm learning, how I'm growing, because it's the same, I'm doing it with the same person, right? And so like I can go there and look at it and be like, okay, what fits my personality, what doesn't, how can I learn, appreciate our differences, et cetera. That's been like monumental in my growth and development.
I think Coach Odom's so dope because like when we first got here, obviously we're a new team, and he was just like, let's see what you can do. Yeah. Let's find out, rather than just being like, this is what you're doing, like putting everybody in a box. Yeah. I think something I noticed as a player is like for you guys as coaches, he really lets you guys like use your talents and gifts in like your own ways to help the team succeed rather than like putting you guys in a box. Like he never did that for us as players, and I see he doesn't do that for you guys as coaches. Right. And I think it's super beneficial, like to allow everybody to have their own talent shine and grow, and then put them together, and you can make this masterpiece of work. So,
no, man, no doubt about it.
I think that's super awesome. You kind of talk to players a lot about what their why should be, and like what is their why? What's your why? Why do you get up every day, throw the Wahoo gear on, and
my biggest thing is my faith. Like I want to glorify the Lord. That's like that's all of it. And without that, nothing in my life matters at all. And I think from what does that look like? I'm supposed to encourage, right? Like that is like my gift. Like I believe, right? Like to encourage, like to help impact in like environments, right? But like you have giftings, right? And who you are. And sometimes they're hard to recognize because you're just being you, right? When you speak and you share, right, you're not trying to do anything. You're just being yourself, right? So our job, right, is to like, okay, like how can we get more of those coming out more often, right? And then fine tuning those things. I think that is like what I'm supposed to be doing.
What's going on, everybody? Brendan Armstrong here, and I'm excited to tell you about what's going on with our partners at Voodoo Rangers. You know what makes March even better? Chaos. Upsets, brackets busted, the 111 seed nobody believed in, and suddenly ruining everybody's weekend. And this year, Voodoo Rangers wants you to bet on 11. All right, so here's how it works. Grab a can of G-Force IPA with 11% ABV, then register that beer at beton11.com. If an 11 seed advances, you have a chance to win a juicy prize. That prize could be $11,000. We're also taking a trip to Vegas, exclusive G-Force merch, and if 11 seed pulls off an upset, 1,100 fans could win cash for their next round. Or keep it. Honestly, your guys' call. It's the juiciest bet in the tournament. No brackets, no stress, just bold beer and beautiful chaos. So this March, bet on 11 with Voodoo Ranger. Visit beton11.com to enter. You must be 21 or older. No alcohol purchases necessary. Legal in all 50 states. Win or lose, you still got a beer. So you can learn more at beton11.com. Must be 21 or older to enter. No purchase necessary. And you can go check out the full rules at beton11.com. Now let's get back to the episode.
So we're gonna kind of backtrack a little bit.
All right.
So we talked about all your stops with Coach Odom. Kind of talk about what it's been like, coaching with him, and then how his system kind of works for you and how you fit into his system.
Yeah, sure. So I tend to lean like a little bit more offensively, right, from like a X's and O's schematic standpoint, because I had a really traumatic experience earlier in my career, and I was like, I'm never losing a game because we can't score more than 50 points.
Yeah.
That made me sick. And so coach has like gotten over the years has gotten so much more balance, right? Like I said, in Illinois, Ryan, we just get buckets.
Yeah.
We lost a game, but scored 120 points. But being with him, right, in that lane, right, like being able to. Like I said, use that mirror to kind of have some like little like touch points so I can understand myself, right?
Yeah.
Has been really valuable for me, right? And like in terms of like how to teach, like I think I've grown in that space, right? Because he's kind of like lets me do stuff. I would really struggle in a place where I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to move in my giftings or develop, and so he's given me a lot of leeway to do some of that stuff. I think.
And then,
I don't feel like I answered your question.
I think you answered it pretty solidly. I'm not gonna lie, but and then Coach keeps hiring you. You keep coming back.
Yeah.
What about his like philosophy or his maybe ideals?
Yeah. No. Yeah, for sure.
Keeps you coming back.
Yeah. So how he treats our guys is really important to me. You mentioned it already. I always say he sees the best in everybody, right? And so the reason why he lets guys, when he first gets them, kind of like do whatever in the beginning, right? Is like, he really does. He does not want to put a cap on the guys he has, right? I think that's super, super important. And he knows how to pick and choose his battles so well. So like he's not like lording over you, right? Where you feel like, oh shoot, he's breathing down my neck right now, and that's no fun, right? So like that kind of environment is so helpful and attractive to me. Because like that allows me to be me, in a much bigger sense, as opposed to like if we were just like constantly beating people up or looking for muddling the difference between excellence and perfection, right? Like I think all coaches struggle with that, right? But it's like you cross that line to perfection, right? You suck the fun right out of stuff, right? And so I think we do a pretty good job of like trying to toe that line, just holding guys to standard.
Yeah, I mean, I think all year, even since we got here, you guys have done a great job of like instilling confidence rather than taking it away, and making guys feel like they're wanted and respected, and they have this kind of energy or feel that they can do whatever they want, like not whatever they want, but whatever we put our minds to.
Empowered.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And like you think about like every moment of your life, whether it's basketball or something else, right? When somebody believed in you, like what it did for you. Yeah. Right. That's so important. It's like the core tenet of I think who we want to be as a staff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What's been like the foundation of trust that you and Coach Odom have built to that kind of translates to your work?
Yeah, I think I guess ultimately, right, it's just like I think we appreciate where each other are, right, and like who they are, right? It's like because we're different, you know what I mean? But he doesn't stop me from doing the stuff that I do, like hollering or running around or headbutting people, right? Like he's just like I don't know if I really even earned it, I think he gave it probably first. He gave the trust, right, before I probably earned it. Because I didn't have, like he could, when he got that UMBC job, he could have hired anybody. That first job at Illinois Ryan, he couldn't hire anybody because that was a salary, there was a salary cap there. So he might have needed me on that one. But beyond that, man, like he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to take me to Utah from Maryland or whatever, right? Like, but like it started, right? He just gave me a level of trust and leeway to go and do that. And right, like, and so then like when someone does something like that for you, oh my gosh, right? Like, I don't owe him for it, right? But I want to honor him and show gratitude, right, for what he did.
100%. That's pretty awesome, to kind of hear not only your story, but sharing a little bit like of the journey that you've been with Coach Odom. So I think that's pretty awesome to hear. Now, this is probably some of the fans probably want to hear more about. What was it like putting this team together from the start of the summer when you guys got the job?
Oh, man. It was a lot. It was like the level of intensity, right? And the volume in terms of like people and phone calls and right? just to try to put it all together was just like was overwhelming, right? Yeah. And additionally, right, it's just like we had lost, I don't know, whenever we lost our game, it was called a Saturday at VCU. Yeah. Maybe it was a Thursday.
Getting hired a week later.
No, it was 2 days. It was like we were here. I think we lost on Thursday. We were here on Saturday.
Oh jeez.
Right. And that was like a lot. Yeah. And frankly, I was like, I wasn't ready. It was so I wasn't ready. Rather, we had to like really push through that. Like we hadn't really celebrated the win that we had with our championship at VCU, and like that was overwhelming, right? So before you even like call a kid, right, or call a person or whatever, right? It's like you're dealing with that, right? We have hit a tremendous home run with the guys that we got, because there's guys that were on our board and they were like, oh man, and they struck us or we struck, and it was like, and then you turn back around and it's like, it's not even about their talent. It's like they would not have fit with us, right? And they came for you, right? Like I know you said to Coach Henry, you'd spoken to Coach Henry a little bit a long time ago, right? But like you had an amazing reference from someone that we knew, right? With Coach Turner, right? Like we had to trust those particular people, and then we've been like, you guys connected, and like you're a big part of that, right? Like you old guys, right? Have like have been intentional about like galvanizing our group and bringing guys together, right? And maybe even going bowling.
Yeah, I mean the other night we had a Scrabble night. So
who won?
I won every game.
Wow.
We played 2.
Did you have a
Carter got really pissed off. Dallin was struggling a little bit. A sleeper Scrabble player, actually 2 sleeper Scrabble players, Jakari and Sam. You know, Sam was putting down 3-letter words and getting 40 points. I don't know.
He had a triple word score.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zoo's a lot of points. He triple word score.
Jaw on the triple word score and got 40. It was like 39, 40 points. I was like, geez. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, we did have
timing is everything. Yeah. Timing and location makes a big difference.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I think that's something I'm like super fortunate to have is a team that, you know, came together so fast and like everybody's good, like a good person.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see that a lot, and I think that's something I was worried about a little bit when I first came here was because at UC Irvine, 5 of the guys that I was with, we grew up there together.
Right, you knew them.
Like we were, obviously I transferred in there, but when I transferred in there, I was with the sophomores all the way until our graduate year there.
Right.
So it was a little different for me, but I think it was so easy because, I mean, obviously I knew some of the guys like Down and Malik, so like I already kind of knew what to expect from those two. But, you know, being able to have guys who want to connect and want to do something special, I think that was super important and impactful for me. Yeah. And I had committed here before anybody else did, so I was like, what is this going to look like? But I think you guys did a great job of, you know, putting together a roster that cares, not just about basketball, but about people. Sure. So that's pretty awesome.
I hope the Wahoos appreciate what that means. Yeah. And like in terms of like what y'all have done or what y'all given up. Yeah. Right. To get into you know, chase after the bigger thing. Yeah. Right. Like we got so many guys that could be playing more, doing more, whatever. But it's just like that's not what our team needs. Is what we're doing right now. Yeah. And it's produced a lot of good fruit.
100%. Now, with like the portal and the portal changing and stuff like that, what has kind of been the biggest difference that you've seen for recruiting over the years?
So I think in terms of like the coaching, right? People ask me all the time, is it different coaching than that because like, they're getting paid? Well, no, they're still like the same age, they're still going through the same stuff, right? And so like we have to still be available and for them in that regard. I think like when you're having like communication about all this stuff, right? Like you just got to be really cognizant about, you know, what you're saying and I guess what you're talking about. Like we in general, we don't make promises anyways to people. Doesn't matter if it's like it's financial, if it's minute, right? Like we want to be honest, and that's actually preserved our culture, I think, over time. But you know, like you know, maybe you pay a little closer attention to other games, running around, you know, out on TV just in case, you know, I guess. You know, just like having a level of awareness. You know, you talk to your buddies, you know, a little bit more, and maybe they can help you in terms of like other coaches in the business. You know, just kind of communicating on that. It's obviously like kind of like a strange space, and we're all kind of figuring it out as we kind of go along, and you know, just trying to, you know, like do it the right way, right? But also like trying to like, you know, push it and like, you know, do what we got to do to make sure we I mean like we love hanging out with each other, but we want to win too.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't want to sacrifice that.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm worried about as a coach, having to deal with calling a bunch of people and texting a bunch of people and recruiting guys. But that's something I admire about you guys is like even when, obviously we're focused on our season and at the end of the day, but I see you guys putting in the work behind the scenes to, make sure that the program at Virginia, stays good forever. So that's something that's pretty awesome that you guys do. And you kind of touched on this point about culture. How important is having a strong culture and then bringing in new guys that kind of uphold that culture?
No, it's like it's foundational, right? Every organization, program, whatever you say, right, has family, right, has a culture. So good or bad is whatever, right? Everyone has one, right? So it's incumbent upon whoever, right, is in that group, right, to like really invest and feed that culture the things that that we want, right? Like we always say, right? Like our cultures and behaviors that we celebrate. Right? If we can celebrate the things that lead to winning, the byproduct of that will be hopefully winning, right? And if we don't tolerate the things that lead to losing, right? Then will that also help us as well. We can't allow those things to come in. And so the best we can in terms of recruiting is, okay, how can we do the homework that we can, right? So we can build it out the way that we want. I think one small thing for us is because we pass, I think that helps our culture. Yeah. Because if like when you were looking at the video and stuff like that, and you saw us pass, and hopefully you're like, oh yeah, I like playing like that. Oh, yeah. And if you don't like that, then you won't come. Yeah. Well, if you're not, so then it's probably best for us anyways, right? And so that honesty, that like foundational how we play, I think also ties into it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And then kind of Virginia, they've already built this identity and like culture. Obviously Coach Holland, Coach Bennett, they've kind of instilled a culture. Now we're in the, I like to say it, Coach Odom era. But how do you, as coaches, go about respecting history, but also like continuing to build our own identity and kind of our own culture within the Virginia's already instilled culture?
Sure. I think the biggest thing, right, is like the standard here in Virginia, right, is just like there's like men of character for sure, right, and then how they win, I don't think is probably relevant to anyone, right? We all want to win, right? And so the fact that we're winning differently, I think is okay, right? And it's true to coach, it's true to the guys that we have, and so being able to like really embrace that, right, and make sure that like everyone under this UVA umbrella, right, can move in their giftings while honoring what has happened before here, right? Like taking things seriously in terms of like knowing the guys that come around, right? Engaging with those people, right? Like this place, Coach Odom says it all the time. It's like this place was here long before him, and it's going to be here long after he's gone, right? And we're just the current stewards right now, and just like really want to respect that.
I think that's like kind of something that helped us get connected so fast was kind of collectively learning about Virginia and the history. Like we learned about it together. And I think it brought us closer together because we understood how important that this place really is. For sure. Over the summer, obviously guys would come back, like Justin Anderson. We've even had some guys at games. So I think it shows like just how important this place is. And obviously there's a culture here already built, but now I feel like we're building our own culture and our own identity. We're adding to the history that's been here, and if we continue to do that, then this place will be great forever.
And these guys are proud of you. This is so cool about it. Like you didn't play with Big Park Hill or or Norm Nolan. You didn't play with those guys, right? And it's just like they're so proud of what y'all have done and are doing. It's so cool. I love that.
So far in your coaching career, what have you been most proud of or enjoyed the most?
Yeah.
It could be a moment, maybe going to the tournament, winning,
Yeah, no, number one is one of our former guys at UMBC and his wife asked me to like be their officiant for the wedding.
Oh, really?
Coolest thing I've ever done.
That's awesome.
It was like, oh my gosh, like that was really cool. What an honor. That from like on the court. Winning at VCU in the championship last year was cool because my whole family was there. My kids, my wife was there. My brother, my best friend was there. It was like everybody was there. Was really special. And then beating Vermont, everybody like when we go back to 2018, people were like, oh, you guys beat Virginia, like that was cool. Beating Vermont, man, they beat UMBC 20 sometimes in a row. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, so been spoiled.
And then his head coach.
Why are you laughing?
No, Coach Bryce moves his ears, bro. It's show.
I've been practicing a long time, guys.
He just caught me off guard with that, so I had a sidetrack for a second. But is head coaching in the future?
In due time. That's the Lord's will, man. That would be what a blessing that would be. What an honor.
Maybe we'll have some trust to hire a brother. Who knows? No, but anyways, throughout the season, you've seen us as a team kind of grow together and obviously face some adversity. From a coaching perspective, what have you liked about, or what have you seen from us growing as players on the court?
Yeah. I think it goes all the way back to you're talking about like when we first got here, right? What you were kind of like allowed, like the leash you were kind of given, right? And then like everybody coming from their roles in the previous place, right? And your willingness to adjust for us, right? Like the one that comes up the most to me is Malik, right? It's like Malik shot a lot of shots when he first got here, like a lot of shots, right? And like to see him like stop and pivot and pass out, like that to me I was like so impressed with, right? Like to like see like Ugo go from like when he first got here to kind of like I don't know what I'm doing here, right? To like man just like giving and sharing and like tackling his teammates and like and then from like a more informal way to like on the court like banging shots and like getting this confidence, right? Like your willingness, right? To like play the role that you're playing, like there's no way no one has what we have in you in that regard. Like it's like it's a unique thing. So like it's like sacrifice, right? It's the growth in terms of like each individual in terms of like having to be uncomfortable, maybe not uncomfortable, but like have to adjust who they are and what they've done in the past to then make sure that we can shine together. And that means a lot, I think, to everybody.
Yeah, 100%. I think it does mean a lot to everybody. And then, this time of year is, when teams start to kind of hit their stride or, try to make strides to, going into the tournament. From a coaching perspective, what do you think our team needs to do to, really be successful heading into March?
Trust our training.
I guess we're in March.
No, I got it. We got it. Yeah. Trust our training. Right. It's like how we're gonna be able to make some adjustments, right? Like as we continue to go, right? But it's like our foundation is everything, right? This is like, are you gonna win your race, right? Like all the time, right? Like are you gonna stop and make proper rim decisions, right? Are we going to share, make a one more? Because but when that ball goes in and out, you're like, oh, I got this one. And you're like, oh boy, Jakar's right there, he's wide open, right? Like sometimes it's hard to turn down, right? But that's who we are, right? And for us to compromise that, right, will then create some chinks in our armor at the wrong time, right? And so by solidifying and like adding into, kind of those foundational pieces, right? Like that's everything.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that, Coach Devin?
I kind of agree, but I think for us it's just a matter of I think at this point in time is when people start to think about a lot of other things, rather than like staying where their feet are. And I think for us, I think we can play with and beat any team in the country, and I think we've shown that. But we need to focus on the moment and kind of stay present rather than, going into our own world and thinking about other things.
Is that hard?
I think for some people it is. For me personally, it's not because it's my last year in college, so I don't have any. I mean, obviously, I think about the future, but I don't have anything to think about right now, other than like winning and being, making sure that my last moments at Virginia are special. So I don't think it's hard for me to think about those things, but I think it can be hard for some younger guys to deal with that.
That's a mature leadership right there. Because I'm gonna tell you, I feel like over like the course of my career, like it's the opposite. For the guys at the end, they're like, oh, what's next? And they like sort of freak out, right? And it's like, they can't be where their feet are. So we appreciate that about you, Devin Tillis.
I mean, like obviously you think about it a little bit, but
well, you wouldn't be human if you didn't.
Yeah, I think I know like my character and the person I am, that I have a lot of opportunities, whatever I want to do. So
that's awesome.
I'm not too worried about thinking about that stuff. I just want to be where I'm at. So, what do you think this team is capable of, wrapping up the end of this year?
I mean, whatever we want to do. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? Like it's going to be maybe the hardest thing we've ever done, right? It's just like we're going into battles right now, right? It's just like we got a scheme, and right, and we got to do all that stuff, but it's like we have to be prepared for a fight, for it, right? Like from now on out, right? Like people are like, it's it for them. Yeah. They're fighting for their basketball lives, and so like we have to take that seriously, right? And like really embrace what that is, as a group, and be present, like you said. Like that's all of it. And if we can do that, right, our ceiling is very high. Like, do you need me to say it?
No, I don't need you to say it.
We can win the natty.
I think, yeah.
But like, that's so hard.
Yeah.
Right? It's so hard. But I truly wholeheartedly believe it. Now you got to get a little bit lucky, probably. You got to have, obviously things go your way. But like, at our very best, right? Which I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah.
At our very best, right? We can be anybody.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Now we got 2 more questions. This one's more just about you. There's one that I've been asking the players, and there's one I asked Coach Bennett that I'm going to ask you too. So, on Coach Bryce's off day, he doesn't. Let's just say Coach Odom was like, you don't gotta watch film, don't gotta recruit right now.
Yeah.
Take the day off. What does Coach Bryce's off day look like?
Yeah. Do we have those?
Not really, but
it's actually crazy because like Coach isn't like he doesn't hold over us either, right? Like he just wants us to. He's so easy to be with in that regard. But I'm gonna do something with the kids. Like we're probably going to wrestle. Like someone's going to be thrown across the room at some point or another. That is a sign of love in our house. If you get tackled, like you locked in.
I love it.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
Coach Bryce hasn't tackled me at his house yet.
Which is crazy. So like the other day I went into somebody's room and like on the road and I was like, it was dancing or whatever, and I was like, I tackled like 4 guys and I was like, man, I haven't had enough tackles in this year. But yeah, we're gonna like hang out. Oh, we're gonna play a game. We're definitely playing a game.
Yeah.
Like that's
your thing.
Yeah, I mean it's like we probably got 100 board games. Dang. It's a lot.
What's the top 3 board games?
Heat.
Okay.
Parks.
Nice.
Wingspan.
Those are some good games.
Locked in. Yeah. I get a lot of dubs. My wife is really sorry.
You don't go easy on the kids?
What? No. No. But it's fun when they can play, because like they get into it.
They get juiced up.
Yeah, it's just like a thing. It's like a part of our family culture, right? We're definitely doing that. So yeah.
Nice.
And I can take my boo out. If I can take my boo out to dinner, by the end of it, that'd be nice.
And that's an A+ day right there.
Oh yeah. If I go on a walk, maybe.
Sounds like a great day.
What you gonna do?
I'm playing video game all day.
What you got? What you playing right now?
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders?
It's the best game.
What is that?
It's like a post-apocalyptic game. You got loot stuff.
Oh, is it violent?
Yeah, it's violent.
Oh gosh, definitely.
But me, EG, and Daz play every day, just so y'all know. Jakari's gotten on it too.
Are you good?
Oh, I'm nice.
It's on Xbox or something? What is
PlayStation.
It? PlayStation?
I mean, PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
Yeah. I remember when I had a PlayStation 1.
I guess my family had a PlayStation 1. Yeah, I had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Crazy. I asked somebody the other day about a Sega, and they was like, what is that? I was like, it's a rectangle, you blow on it, you put it in the cart. They didn't know what it was. That's when it affirmed what you say about me being old. Yeah.
It's okay.
It hurt my heart.
It's okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Got you. But okay, now like the last question. This one might be more deep. This is like a deeper question. 20 years from now, what do you want, like maybe fans or just people in your neighborhood to think about Coach Bryce Crawford?
Yeah, I love Jesus.
Yeah.
So, right? Felt like people need to know that. Like that's it. That defines me. Yeah. And then hopefully that my kids do, right? And that they can see that, and that because of that, we want to serve, we want to love, we want to be available for people. That's my hardest thing right now in my life. Is I want to be more available for people.
Yeah.
I want to be more available for y'all. And trying to figure out what that looks like, But man, what else are we here for in terms of outside relationship and and community? What a special thing. Since the beginning of the time, that's what it's been about. Right? How can we get together? How can we love each other? Yeah. I want to be able to have that level of impact in the people around me, and I fail at it more than I would like. But yeah, that's what I want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And then is there anything else that you want to say to the fans before we get out of here?
Keep loving on the boys. We're so appreciative of what you've done so far in terms of supporting these guys. And then lastly, moving your giftings. It's part of your responsibility to let your light shine brightly. For you to hide that light, you're doing us all a disservice. So that's what I want for my kids. That's what I want for everybody around me, right? Like, again, how can we move into our gifts better and better?
Well, that's it for today.
Thanks, bud.
We had Coach Bryce on the pod. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Good Old Hoops podcast. I'm your host, Devin Tillis, Wahoo Nation. Peace out.